see it just by hanging out with the person over time.
And the experiences, right? Like for me, the experiences are amazing, but just let it be like natural. We don't need to talk until
when you name drop, it's like I am out.
Or just like, I don't know. Some things I just don't think guys should really do.
Yeah.
And so,
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I'm not a fan of...
That's my type, I guess.
Okay, well, that's, now there's lots. I mean, there's, I think, 2 straight men that are listening to this at the moment. The rest are women.
Listen, I have my not straight guy friends who are always trying to hook me up with straight guys, so it's all good.
They are out there. What about, how do you feel about, your friend Shereé? We see Martel this season, what do you think of Shereé and Martel?
So I think that Shereé and Martel, I think that relationship is fun. And I have been around them with the cameras off quite a bit. And they just have fun together. And I think that Shereé is very clear on, I'm just here to have fun and figure it out at this point. And so the way she's smiling, as long as she's smiling and happy, I'm here for it. I don't think Shereé's necessarily planning to marry Martel tomorrow. Like, I don't think that's her long-term strategy. So he's cute. He's funny. He's a Capricorn.
He's in shape.
He has nice teeth. And he treats her well. And I think that for that, I'm just happy for her.
Do you think, I guess if she's not looking to get married, it doesn't matter. We watch
I'm saying tomorrow. I don't think she's like, oh, I'm dating Martel in this moment to get married to him. He just, went through a divorce not long ago. He has a lot of young kids. Like, that's not necessarily probably, and I'm not putting words in her mouth, but it's probably not what she's signing up for long term.
No, well, he did go through a divorce, and he does have young kids. We've seen it. We know it. Yeah. Love and Marriage. We can give another shout out to Carlos King. But, do you think, Martel has a bit of a reputation.
He does. And I just, my only advice to her was to judge every day based on how he treats you and how that is. And as long as you're feeling good about how he's treating you and how things are, moving, just have fun with it.
That makes sense. What about Scotty? We see Marlo. Marlo has a man, everyone.
Marlo has a man, and I think she's having a lot of fun. And once again, I'm here for it. Listen, I'm a girl that I just want my friends to be happy. And if being in love is what you want, be in love, enjoy it. When it's working, it's working. And if it doesn't work anymore, it's okay. We all date. And so I'm not going to judge because I've had some not great relationships and I've had some amazing ones. And I think we all have to go through the process and figure out what works for us. So for me, I just want them to be happy. And I think Marlo is happy. I think Scotty is hot. I think he's nice. I think he's charming. I think he really likes her, being around the two of them as well. And I'm just here for it. For as long as she is.
Maybe there'll be some wedding bells in Marlo's future.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be amazing?
We can have it filmed. We have a storyline.
That would be the most over-top wedding, probably.
Could you imagine?
No, I really can't.
There'd be lots of changes.
Just over-the-top everything. And like I said, I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. What about, Kenya? She has this man, and we don't see him. We saw him on a FaceTime.
You guys are buying that?
You think it's a fake relationship?
I don't really know. I just think that we saw him promoting his brand, and it appears that Marlo has the relationship with him. I'm not certain. We haven't seen him. He popped into Marlo's DM. She wasn't that interested, so I guess she was next in line. I don't know. And just given Kenya's history, do you think that's real?
Well,
you.
I don't think you think it's real.
It just didn't appear that way. If you're dating someone, I saw the scene. He comes in, and it just didn't feel like someone you're that into or that's that into you, right?
Yeah, and
Mañana called him, if I'm not mistaken. So if Shereé and I are kicking it, and my guy's coming that's so hot, that's so into me, and I'm so, loving him, and the sex is so great, like, Shereé is not going to be calling him, talking to him. Like, he's going to come in, scoop me up, swing me around. Like, we're just going to have a good old ass party. And I saw none of that. So you tell me. I have no idea.
Well, NeNe, back to this same interview, NeNe did say that, in the beginning when you used to watch it religiously, like what she loved is that it was so real, that it was just
Kenya
authentic.
was on there at that point?
No, she wasn't.
Okay.
And then she said, like, when Kenya came on for her, she kind of wasn't, she's like, I'm not really saying it's because of Kenya. I mean, I don't know how else you could take this, but she said that's when people started having fake boyfriends and fake storylines. She specifically said fake boyfriends.
I can believe that. And, we'll see, but I don't know.
And, well, yeah. And then when Sanya was here with me, she said something about Kenya dating a lot of people.
I have
That's not what we've really seen this season.
Yeah, I have no idea. It just did not seem authentic at all for me. And I would rather not bring a man on if it's not a real relationship. Because again, I'm going to show authentically how I'm feeling, what's really happening in my life, right? And so that's just what I think a reality show, the basis of it should be reality in the parts of your life that you can show. And it just didn't feel authentic or real to me.
Interesting.
We'll see. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. What about we didn't expect this. You are Ralph's cousin.
How about that? I didn't expect that either.
I mean, right. So, we've seen what we've seen on the show, but did you know this? Did you know Drew Sidora and Ralph? And
had no idea. Showed up at the party for Ross's birthday, and one of my good girlfriends who actually, I think is Ralph's publicist. She's a publicist, definitely Martel's publicist. We're talking, and Ralph comes over. She introduces us, and he's like, "Where are you? Where are you from?" I was like, "I was born in Baltimore, grew up on the outskirts of Charleston, South Carolina, in a really small town." He's like, "Where?" "That's where my family's from." And I was like, "Well, I grew up in a place called Schuylerville. I have 3 aunts that live in Hugie." He was like, "Hugie, that's where my grandparents are from." And he's like, "What's your family's surname?" And I said, "Kinloch and Richardson." And he's like, "Kinloch is my family's name." And I'm like, "Shut up," because it's a really small town, like a couple hundred people. And we start talking, and then he says the name of the road, which is literally, when I was growing up, it was a dirt road with a couple houses on it. And I was like, "You're kidding." And I'm older than him. And he's like, "Yeah, my cousin Jones." And I'm like, "That's my first cousin. Like, that's my dad's sister's son." He's like, "Shut up. I grew up in that house with Jones and Amanda." And I'm like, "I grew up in that house with Amanda," because Amanda's the older sister. And I'm like, "You're lying."
That's crazy.
And so we didn't talk about exactly how, but we discovered that we're laughing, talking. We ended up calling our cousins, of course, a couple days later, and it was crazy. But he actually grew up in New Jersey. But his his grandparents live right next to my aunt and uncle, and he's cousins to my cousins. So that was just so funny.
You're literally